Okay. I'm not even sure how long it's been since I recorded a video, but I was kind of in the mood today because I got home from work, I opened my window. Yeah, so I opened my window. I kind of lowered the gain on this thing because I don't want you to feel like you're just listening to cars the whole time. That's the gain all the way up. So I'm gonna lower that. Yeah, so I haven't recorded in a while. I don't know, I've just been kind of like out of the flow. I almost finished a new book. It's called Reservoir Bitches by Dahlia De La Cerda, a Mexican writer. It was actually originally written in Spanish, and it's translated to English. I didn't do this, but I do like to read, and I became very aware of my cell phone and screen usage over the past few months. I've gotten into a habit of coming home from work and going straight to my laptop, which I'm technically doing right now, but going straight to my laptop or my phone and just watching endless YouTube videos, and I kind of got myself caught in like a rabbit hole of like a type of video that I'm not really gonna say that it just got me. It was like not something that I really liked that I was doing. Like, it was entertaining, but I just did not really resonate with it that much, and it was more of just like the shock value of it, and like I don't know, like there was some hatefulness to it as well. I'm not really gonna get into it, but I just was realizing that I was kind of just going down a rabbit hole of consumerism and just watching shit for the sake of watching it. And I've kind of been practicing minimalism, like on the down low, for a little bit. Like, just been kind of aware of what I am consuming, what I have in my closet, what I have as possessions, what I spend my money on. And I just started realizing that I really want to cut down my screen time, and my phone was at like a 3.5 hour daily usage, and apparently is low for the average human. I know that some people can get up to like 8 hours, and 3 hours was like me. I don't even really use Instagram. I deleted Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I never had TikTok. I don't use any really other social media platform besides YouTube and Facebook sometimes. And I was noticing that my screen time was 3.5 hours, so I realized I didn't like that. That's appalling that I spent that much time on my phone. So I decided last week actually that I just really wanted to cut that at least in half to start off, and I've been pretty good with it. So I kind of got it down to 1 hour and 40 minutes, and I'm good with that, but I actually want to cut it down even more. But the thing is, I noticed that a lot of my usage comes from messaging, like texting, and I'm not even like a big texter. I do not text. I text like 1 or 2 people, and it's always just like one word or like whatever. And then Google Maps. Like, if I need to go somewhere, I'll be using Google Maps, and that'll be a lot of screen time and music. So I guess I'm kind of at the point where like I'm using my phone for what I want to use it for, not just endless scrolling and like social media consuming and all that junk and games. Never was a game player, but yeah, I just realized. So I'm kind of happy with what I'm at now. I do want to cut it down more, but I just started reading again. I was on like a few month break from reading, but it's not good to have a break, but I just wasn't reading a lot. I think the last thing I read was The Godfather, and I've been wanting to read that for years. And I finally started reading it, and I got like 100 pages in, and then I think I just like stopped. It was kind of tedious to read. Like, if you ever have read it, I don't know if I would say it's like enjoyable to read. It's very dry, but obviously the stories infused in it are great. It's and deep. It's just the writing is kind of dry, and I just kind of had to force myself to read it, so I just stopped. And that's when I last read. So this is the first book I've read since then. Reservoir Bitches. I really liked this book. It's very punk. It's very goth, and it just, I'm not completely finished with it. I have like probably, I don't know, less than 10-ish pages left. But I thought it was really cool. It's a Mexican writer about Mexican women. It's fiction. Their lives are all intertwined somehow. Every chapter is a new character, but every character is connected in a way, and a lot of the characters are like, not a lot of them, but some of them are involved in the cartels, like crazy rich daughters of mob bosses, girls who like murder people, girls who sell drugs, and there's just like the normal girls who are just, I don't know, in love with boys that suck. And there's, towards the end, it starts getting pretty dark. There's like witches in here. But towards the end it gets dark because like a couple of the chapters are about them getting like killed and tortured and raped, and it's sad, but it all kind of reflects reality in a way, and like these could be easily like true stories. It feels so true. When I was reading it, when I first started, I thought it was real. Like I thought this was a memoir for some reason, or like short stories from true memoir short stories. That's how good and like what's the word? I have like 3 different words on my tongue. I have enrapturing. I don't even know if that's a word. I have thrilling. I have titillating. I don't know. So I had a few different words in my mouth, in my mind, but when I first started reading it, I thought it was real, and I was like, holy shit, like, this can't be real. Like this is crazy shit. It was like, started off with a girl whose father was like a drug lord, crazy rich, like traveled everywhere, had like pet tigers and everything, wore designer stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. Is this real? And then I realized it wasn't. But yeah, this is a cool book. It's like it's different. I mean, it's not like a well-known author. It's not a New York Times bestseller or anything, but I thought it was really cool if you're into reading like books written by like South Americans or like Hispanic women. This is a cool author. She has other books, but they're all in Spanish, and any of them are translated to English besides this one. So I'm hoping, once I learn Spanish, I could read more of her books, but they're very punk, and I'd like to say that I like resonate with her style of writing. It's very crass and crude and frank and vulgar and just in your face, not giving a fuck about anything, just graphic, and yeah, it's really cool. It's badass, and it's very truthful too. A lot of the stories, there's like stories of abortion, stories of poverty, abuse, magic. There's a lot in here in this very short book. So I guess this turned into a book review video, which I don't mind because this is a cool book. So I have that. I honestly want to read like a part from it. I think that would be cool. Let me just read the first chapter. It all began with Regina. I met her at a school in Guadalajara. We went to Sacred together after my old man sent me and my brothers to live in La Perla, Tapatia for security reasons. My mom came with us. Our house was in an exclusive gated community. Nice, but all the way out by the road to Zapopan, a real haul from downtown. Regina lived in the next gated community over, so we were practically neighbors. I'd never had girlfriends. I spent my childhood in the Sierra. My old man kept an eye on his business up there, and we lived in the nearest town, population 3,500, cobblestone streets and tile roofs. He built the kindergarten, lower school, and junior high, and also paid for the clinic, fixed up the town square, and brought in electricity. That's why everyone loves him and keeps the military off his back. We had private tutors come to our house, which was right at the edge of our land, because my pops didn't want to risk us sending us to school in town. I'm gonna get to yeah, I don't know, a good book. This is from another, like, woman's perspective, another chapter. If I had to sum up my life story in one word, it would be reckless. I'm reckless. Always have been, ever since I was a kid. Radical and impulsive. I had a hard time following rules, respecting authority figures, taking orders. It pissed me off, and still does, when people say yes and mean no. No way, boss. For me, yes is yes and no is no. It's all or nothing. No such thing as a middle ground. That's why I live to the max, feel to the max, spend to the max, and earn to the max. I've had tons of boyfriends and flings, tons of lovers and side pieces. My mom used to say I was promiscuous by nature and might as well put it to financial use, but I was no good at the hustle. I'd be loaded now if I had sat on faces instead of busting heads. I'd have a perfect ass, a wasp waist, nice tits, but I like a challenge, pushing limits. Besides, to be honest, I was crap at charging for sex. I don't know how to put a price on ass. Either I got paid like a high-class escort or I got paid like a tramp at a seedy cantina. 1 minute I was charging 5,000 pesos. The next it was 200. What can I say? I'm not into shades of gray. Either you're steep or you're cheap. I don't fuck with modesty. I kill to the max too. That's why I am where I am. So yeah, this girl is like the bodyguard, or like, not yet, but she's involved with that first girl's dad's business. But yeah, cool book. I totally recommend it if you're into like kind of like punk feminist, I don't know, just like vulgar writing. I don't know, it's cool. My tea, it's Elderberry Lemon Balm. It's really good. The universe is within you, bright and beautiful. I liked how that sounded. It sounded like a commercial. My next book that I'll be reading is, it's holding up my microphone right now, so hold on. Oh no, it's about to fall, I think. Let me hold it. an H Mart. It's funny because I read this with, maybe I should hold this. Yeah, that's cool. I read this with my 9th graders, or I didn't read the whole book, but I read the first chapter. And it's I did it for my personal narrative unit for them, because it is a memoir, and I thought it was a nice story about a girl who lost her mother and connects with her and reminisces and has memories of her through cooking and food and crying in H Mart, which is a Korean supermarket. So that's my next book. I got this one at the thrift store for $4. Yeah. It was really nice out today. It was a nice crisp 48 degrees in the middle of winter, beginning of February, and it was nice. It snowed last night, so I woke up to a little sheet of snow, not too much to get a snow day, but it was still there. It was nice. But yeah, nice. It made me feel like spring was coming, and it like ignited that fire inside of me that makes me want to do things, that makes me want to go outside and hike and watch birds and feel the warmth on my skin. And I was gonna take a walk, but instead I decided to do this. But the one thing is, my window is open and I'm sitting right in front of it, so I'm still able to enjoy the weather a little bit, and the sun is going down. But yeah, it gave me a hint of spring, and it kind of got me excited for that. I do like spring. I really like all the seasons. I really do. I do love spring because I'm a plant person, I'm an herb person, I'm a nature person, and to watch the earth bloom and come to life and wake up from its hibernation is beautiful. To see the little sprouts of green coming up out of the dirt, to see baby animals be born, to feel the sun starting to heat up the planet, or at least our region, New Jersey. It's nice. It's a nice treat from the cold winter and being inside and being bundled up and being cozy. It's like gives us a fresh start. It allows us to wake up, step into a new, or maybe shed layers, literally and figuratively. And I think it's beautiful, and I'm really excited for spring. Yeah. I think I'm gonna end it here. See, I really feel like I didn't say much of substance today. I feel like it was one of those videos where I was mostly in my head and not really able to get into the flow of talking, but that doesn't mean that what I say isn't useful or valuable or truthful. I think I try really hard at being truthful in these videos and being authentic. Or maybe I don't try really hard, but I make it a point, and I'm always trying to recenter myself. And there's some moments where I do lose myself. I do lose that flow, I do lose that center. But I always think I find my way back. I find my way back to being open and honest and truthful. And yeah, so I don't have to be hard on myself. I don't have to be perfect the whole video through. I don't have to be dropping, what is it? Dropping, what is it, like, not, I'm like thinking like verses, I don't know, dropping, I don't know. I do this a lot as a teacher. I'm like standing in front of the class talking, and then the idea is in my head, but then I like think myself out of saying something, and then I just am like, and then sometimes my students finish it for me, and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm able to go back to what I was kind of saying, and that's nice because it's cool, because I guess that means that they feel comfortable enough around me to do that, and then we have that kind of exchange, and it's nice. They're engaged at least. But yeah. I just thought about how like heavy life can be sometimes for these kids and for everyone, but we've talked about this before, but a lot of my students are Hispanic. Well, most of them are, and then some are undocumented or have family members that are undocumented. So, I don't know what's going on in their lives. They could be very fearful of being sent back to their country, or very fearful of somebody they love close to them being sent back. And I think I just started feeling guilty as I was talking before about like making them do work. But I think it's important, and I think allowing life to continue on and allowing school and learning to continue is more beneficial than just stopping it, like kind of like what happened during COVID. Like they went virtual and like nobody was paying attention, and they lost like 2 years of this foundational time of their lives where they were learning. And I think stopping things is more detrimental, more harmful than allowing them to continue and allowing kids to push through and come to school and be in that schedule and that flow and going with the flow of things. And also as a teacher, as an adult, being sensitive, being aware, and being open and honest, and allowing that flow of communication between my students and I to exist. So it's not just all about school, work, but it's also allowing them to exist without putting too much pressure on them, but giving them that space to learn and grow and distract themselves if they need to, process things. So yeah. 25 minutes in. This was a nice long video. This was a good one. But yeah, read this book. This is a cool book. Read it. Support this, Mexican writer. Support her English translation books because that's cool. I want her to keep doing more English translation so it's more accessible to us. But yeah, pretty cool. Thanks for watching, and have a great, centered, peaceful, awestruck rest of your day. And listen to some birds today. Listen to some birds chirp and sing and pour their heart out.